Okay, hey everyone, and welcome back to the weekly Vega Fairground Jam. My name is Dagan. I'm a community team at Vega, and I'm Mega Boss, big leader, the guy that's always there at the Fairground Jams. Um, this is an ongoing series. It takes place every Thursday at 6 p.m. UTC or GMT. And each week, we tend to take a deep dive into a different aspect of Vega with a member or members of the Vega team and special guests. So today we have two very, very special guests. We have the multi-team titan Janja, an engagement strategy extraordinaire, Edo, who you might recognize from Twitter. He's been taking over the account recently. And we'll be talking about today, amongst other things, growing global communities, including Vega's Chinese community, which Janja specializes in and she's spent a lot of time with. So before we get right into it, let's do some quick housekeeping. So whilst both of our guests are presenting, you're free to ask any questions that you like in the Twitch chat, and we'll try and answer those either at the end of the call or during the call if they're particularly relevant to what we're saying right now. And that is pretty much it. So let's get into it quickly with some introductions. Janja, would you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Janja. I joined Vega in September 2021. So I've been working here for 4 months, quite new. And I'm working in the research team. I'm working on the finance models for margin and the derivative pricing, etc. And also part-time working for the community, especially trying to build Chinese community. And before I joined Vega, I had been working for Moody's for over 7 years. And then before that, I have been working for a gaming company for 2 years, working as a quantitative analyst. So kind of, yeah, mainly research focused. Yeah, that's me.
Nice. Thanks for the introduction. And I guess we'll learn a bit more about that as well later. Over to you, Edo. Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, great to be at Vega. I'm Edo. You might have caught me in a couple of tweets already. I'm kind of doing work in engagement strategy, so I'll be focusing on social media, particularly Twitter, and also working on investor relations and things related to building more of that, really. I'm super excited to be here. I used to work in data, spent quite a bit of time in business analytics and working in customer segmentation and kind of taking out interesting insights from data sets. And I'm kind of applying that to the world of Vega and what we're doing now. So get ready for a really exciting year.
Sweet, thank you. I think Vega's very lucky to have the both of you. We've got two very unique and interesting characters, and we'll learn a lot more about them a bit later. But before we do that, someone also mentioned this in the chat already. Vega has a new website. So I'm going to actually share my screen and show you. The Vega website launched today. And if you haven't seen it yet, head to vega.xyz and you can see the lots of thought and effort and planning sessions that went into putting this all together. You can see where we're at in the roadmap, where we're going, upcoming events. This page is pretty fun if you want to click it. We got blog posts and there's so much more to it. And we try to simplify everything to just learning, developing, using, community work. And we try to make it quite colorful and fun. And I'll let you guys play around with it in your own time and give feedback because this is a work in progress. It's ready. This is the first version of the new website, but we're going to be taking feedback from the community and trying to get more of what people want to see. So yeah, play around with that, even while you're watching this call. And back to the Fairground Jam. Okay, so as always, we're just going to have a very casual, chill discussion. And I'm going to just learn a bit more about both Janja and Edo, and then anyone in the audience is also free to ask any questions that they might have. So Janja, you're one of the rare members of Vega that you operate across two different teams, both research and community. And Edo, you're focusing on engagement strategy, and so you're in perception and marketing, amongst other things within Vega. But before, you mentioned both a little bit as well, what you did before, but could you tell us a bit more about the things that you did in your life that led you up to where you are now with Vega, and how long were you doing those different things for? So Edo, we'll start with you and then we'll go to Janja.
Cool. Yeah, I've been kind of business oriented. I kind of graduated and then went straight up to uni in business management. I actually applied for banking and international finance and kind of switched the first weekend because I thought it was a bit too kind of narrow-minded for what I was thinking of doing. And yeah, I started always at an early stage to have a passion for kind of startups and working in a bit of agile environments and kind of tipping my toes into different areas. So I was early on in a couple of startups, and then I realized that I wanted to do something a bit more related to data. So I did my master's in business analytics, where I kind of upgraded my skills in a bit more technical things like SQL and Python. And then, yeah, I started working in marketing and tech marketing, particularly doing analysis of data sets in companies and providing insights and kind of presenting these insights to the customers and recommending what kind of tools or practices they should utilize to better segment their customer bases. And I kind of fell in love in crypto in 2018 when I thought that Bitcoin was too expensive. So I bought some Ethereum. That's kind of the funny analogy, the funny thing I say now, because if I could go back in time, there's a lot of stuff I would have done differently. But I kind of forgot about my Coinbase account and everything that I had done for a couple of weeks, actually for a couple of years. And I then really started getting interested when a friend of mine sent me I think it's a film on Vimeo called Banking on Bitcoin. And it kind of really opened my eyes, and I fell in love with the cyberpunk narrative. And I think what we're doing at Vega is the new cyberpunkish thing, and permissionless market creation is really interesting. And I'm super excited to see where we can take this with Vega. So I'm super excited, and yeah, thanks for having me. I'm 2 weeks in, so be gentle with me, but it'll be fun.
No, we're glad to have you. And I think that's kind of how a lot of people got down the rabbit hole. Like you saw something a while ago, you were quite curious, but you left it, you came back and you're like, wow, there's still something here and there's something to learn and get engaged with.
Yeah, it's like following the white rabbit, right?
Exactly. And we all followed it a bit too far and then ended up at Vega. Janja, over to you. Similar introduction, your past, what brings you here, and why Vega?
Yeah, my past is I started the same way as where Edo started. So I was a single child in my family. So my mom always wanted me to be a math teacher. So I did my undergraduate in mathematics in China in Nanjing Normal University, Nanjing Shifan Daxue. And then after that, I wanted to go abroad to have a look. So somehow I got an opportunity to do a PhD in mathematics in Edinburgh University. That was 3 years. So I just did a PhD after that. So I think I kind of overperformed that my parents' expectation. And then after that, I got a job in a gaming company. It was called Age Gaming. It's a London-based online gaming company. It had about 100 employees. So my job was I was the evil guy. My job is to work out the math to make the game profitable and also attractive. So we were kind of designing different slot machine games with different themes. So I kind of involved in designing a kind of female-related game, which is called Alice in Wonderland. I guess if you have been to some online games website, you might have seen it. It's quite famous now. So yeah, you kind of make the frequency and the winning based on the knowledge or the information you have about the player, and you try to make it really attractive. And you also make sure that you make enough profit for this game. So I stayed 2 years there. And then I moved to Germany with my family for 2 years, and I was in the language school for 2 years because I really like the language. And I studied German for 2 years, and then I joined Moody's in 2014. I was working as a quantitative analyst for 7 years. So I've been in the research team, but I think 5% of my workload is to helping with the marketing people to do some marketing, because we have in Moody's, they have quite a lot of customers in China. And they always need to translate the documents, and most of the time they get the documents translated by some agents, but sometimes the agent can be slow. So they just asked me, can you do it last minute? So I started my marketing workload from there. And I somehow got more involved with some, making some videos. And also I was presenting for Moody's on some conferences, like the IFOA conferences in China. And the previous one was online because of COVID. And I always enjoy talking to customers. I'm always curious to see how can you make marketing, or what kind of approach you can do on marketing in order to make the product successful. I'm always curious to see that. And also I think China is a quite different country than the rest of the world. The culture is so different. The food is different, of course. And I kind of curious to see, there are so many companies that try to start business in China, and some of them are doing really successful, and some of them just failed and moved out of China. And I always trying to find out, what kind of region-specific strategy a company has to apply in order to be successful, to attract Chinese customers. Like the Starbucks, they started to make something like lychee flavored coffee. I think that's a very successful culture focus in innovation. Yeah, so yes, that's me. And then I joined Vega. So yeah, I think I'm 80% or more than 80% in research team, and about 10% helping with community and marketing. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, so that's very similar to what you were doing before. Like you had the 10% in Moody's, and then you've got 20% here. So the next company will be 30-40% in marketing, and then you'll eventually get to 100% as you go through your very long career. No, that was really cool introduction, and it's great to see, because I noticed you were just kind of getting involved a lot more here and there around the Vega community, what we were doing in the community team, and you just had different ideas and you brought a fresh way of looking at things to the table. So we really appreciated that, and I think you've kind of brought that over to your work with the Chinese community. So I think I wanted to talk about, you said you used to moderate the Chinese community, and we ran an AMA with them. We did about a month ago, 2 months. And so I would like to ask a bit about, what do you think is key to growing the Chinese community, and how do you think that's different to growing like the more general Vega community in our Telegram and our Discord and on our official channels?
I think Chinese community has a similar part as British English speaking community, but the different part is Chinese people, they prefer to talk in Chinese, and then they prefer to read Chinese. Even me, you know, after I've been to UK for over 10 years, I still prefer to read books in Chinese. So yeah, so if I have some documents in both English and Chinese, I would definitely start with reading the Chinese one. So to make the Chinese community growing, I think a good approach is to have whatever documents or, you know, the blogs written in Chinese, so people feel like, you know, it's easily accessible place. And also, if we are making some AMA, I think if people can speak Chinese, it's definitely more attractive for Chinese communities. So yeah, that's my impression. And also, I think to build the community, so we can have some super community members, so we can kind of help each other and we can grow with each other. So feel like we are in a team, or we are in a kind of, you know, real friendly community, and we can help each other. I think that would be nice, and that's what I'm trying to go to.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then we've seen in the Twitch audience, someone saying that there are Chinese and English DAOs promoting projects in both languages, so they have specific areas translating everything. And he says he recommends Snapfingers DAO, so we'll check it out after the call. But thank you for the recommendation. But yeah, I agree with that, Janja. And you said someone new joined us recently, right? And they're working part-time on helping out with the Chinese community. And they're doing very much the thing that we're talking about in the chats. Could you speak a bit more about this new person, what their role is, and why you thought to bring them?
Yeah, sure. So the new member is called Tai Wei. His English name is called Mark. And he is based in Shanghai. And he joined recently to help us with running the community channels. And also he will be working making the documents, like the different blogs. So when we got, you know, when we're publishing the weekly technology updating or tech update, and he will try to synchronize with the Chinese version of that. And also, I was thinking for some marketing material, like the February East Denver, and he will be helping with making some Chinese marketing material for this event as well, because there are quite a lot of Chinese people based in US. So I think maybe there will be some Chinese people in East Denver there as well. So both the community, he will be working on both the community and also the document part in Chinese.
Yeah, that's really great news, and I'm looking forward to meeting him one day in person, but hopefully over Zoom as soon as we can. But yeah, there's definitely like translating materials and having communities that are representing the project in different areas is quite key. And we've been thinking about that for a while, but we've never really had a good structure for setting up unofficial or other communities in different languages. But I'm hoping with the ambassador program that we're putting together, will be hopefully launching in March. We'll get to the stage where we have trusted community members, and then certain members of the community can really rise up and start leading those groups and getting the support to do so. So that is, there are some of the plans we have for different areas. But I know, Edo, as well, that you're working on building relations with global communities as well, right? You're in very early stages because you've only been here for like the 2 weeks. But could you tell us a bit about
less than 2 weeks,
the plan?
10 days.
Less than 2 weeks. 10 days. It's a big 10 day.
making every single one count, man.
Could you tell us a bit about what you're doing with these other? Exactly. And you really tell us a bit about what you're building, who you're talking to.
Yeah, so I think one of the big plans is to really build up the influencer community. Janja is taking care of and integrating the Chinese community, but it'll also be great to kind of pick up those relationships that we maybe left some time ago in Korea and Japan, and really start working again with them. They're already very pro Vega. They're super hungry to have more interactions with us, and this is really about building a global Vega community. Again, we've done some work with them in the past, but we really needed at Vega someone dedicated to building real relationships with them, sharing Vega content, understand how to do work with them, because it's going to change, right? It's going to change with every specific community. Everyone does things differently, and so we really want to pick out those cherries and do it the right way. Every content will have their specific audience. So we'll be closely working with the PR and marketing agencies involved with this to get their insights as well. But really the focus is just to get Vega, the Vega brand out there. There's so much potential for what we're building. So we want to make sure that every single one in a global community reach knows about us. So really building that Vega brand awareness.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. And we have quite a big pool of investors and people that have been with the project for a very long time. And I guess reigniting those groups of people that are very keen to see Vega succeed and helping them get the messages on time and making them know what they can amplify and how they can help us with our impact on the crypto market as we grow into mainnet and launching, well, unrestricting the mainnet and launching trading and getting more people up to speed of what exactly we put out. So yeah, I'm really excited for your work with that. And when you're not doing like growing investment, right? And perception is but tell us a bit approaching things with Twitter and the other social channels over the coming months.
Yeah. Specifically now I'm focusing on Vega Twitter. It's huge in what goes on in the cryptos scene, and we really want to understand, and we're doing a lot of work now with planning how to craft the Vega brand, the persona. A lot of it will be announcements, engagement, sharing content, but we really want to have some real contribution to the crypto scene, you know, on specifically what we're working on, how it's going to impact the rest of the ecosystem, but really give the audience, because a lot of the times as humans we kind of forget why we're in this, why we're working for this decentralization, and why it's really important for us, just as a evolution for just how we do business, how we evolve and grow in society. And I think that we really need to get the point across on how revolutionary Vega is, but do it in a smart way. So bring those good thoughts out there to the community and make people think about what we're doing, and not just you know, it's frustrating sometimes to see all discussions around, you know, when moon, when this, when that, but you have a roadmap now. That should be enough for 6 months. Now let's focus on the real problems and what we're really trying to solve here. Yeah.
Thanks. No, that was like it's nice to see how you interpret it and what you're working on. But let's look at those future 6 months and what we'll be doing next. So for both of you, in an ideal world, what would you like to see more of in the Vega community? What do you think the team should be prioritizing? What do our members want more of? We'll start with Janja, and then Edo, you can answer.
I think for the Chinese community, people would like to see more like documents they can read, because some people are really familiar with what Vega does, what's the difference between Vega and other similar companies on the market, what the team like. But a lot of people, they're quite new to the company and they don't know where to start. And they're looking for some easy to read documents, as an introduction of the company and the product. So I think for Chinese community, it would be nice to have something, some documents quite short and exciting for people to read, so they can get a big picture very quickly. And then they can decide what they can do in the future, how much they want to be involved, etc. I think, yes, so some of our team are writing some little articles about derivatives, and as a member from the research team, because I was looking at the margin and derivative models, I also wrote some little articles about how the closeout mechanism works in Vega, and also how the insurance pool works, because we kind of have different few levels of security system in Vega. We use margin to make sure that a trader will have enough collateral to cover the loss. And then in extreme cases, if the margin is not enough, what will happen? We have insurance pool, and we back up with insurance pool. So we have different little strategies for our modeling. So yeah, we will be writing some little stories to communicate with our community members. It's like a two-way system, so we can kind of educate people who don't have that much knowledge on this, and also we can get feedback from people, so we can improve our product and our approach to talk to the community.
Yeah, just on that, I think complexity and not being able to explain the very complicated concepts of Vega in simple ways has been a big problem that we've had for a while, in that people get like futures trading, because people even often you say like it's a derivative or building derivatives, a derivative exchange, a medium where you can permissionlessly create your own derivatives, and people are like, what are derivatives? Then you say, oh, futures, have you heard of Binance? Do you know these sorts of things? And people are like, oh yeah, okay, I do it all the time. And just explaining in very simple ways what Vega's trying to do, how we do it. And I hope the new website helps with that. And then making that content. I know we're going to launch a competition soon for infographics, and we want people to start creating very simple things that explain Vega in a bite-sized way. So I agree with you there, completely agree. And yeah, you can never really make the content that we have too simple. You can always make it a bit more accessible for members of the growing community. Edo, what would you like to see more of in the Vega community? Maybe it's more of what we said, but let's see.
Yeah, you guys totally smashed it. So good work. No, I totally agree. Bridging that gap and conveying all of this complex problem that we're trying to solve into a very easy, short communication. I think that's totally it. I'd also like to see, and it's probably something that we need to build together. Actually like getting people of the community out, seeing them, getting to know them, getting them eventually when we launch stuff, getting to test them, getting their like creating good feedback loops on what we're doing good and also what we're doing not so good maybe. That's I think is also important to create positive feedback loops so that we can really create a bond with the community, because essentially the community will then be driving Vega. That's the whole purpose. And I think something really strong that it really captured my attention and I was really excited about when joining was the aspect of, you know, being permissionless and allowing this market creation to be permissionless. I don't think at the beginning, at least, I didn't know how powerful this was because maybe I didn't understand it correctly. But I think once we get the right tone of voice and really get this message across that, hey, we're building something that is, there's no permissions needed. I think that is really cool. So yeah, maybe doing a bit of work on that.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Like permissionless market creation has become a bit of a buzzword at this point. But it's something that hasn't been seen before with derivative markets, where allowing anyone to propose a market, provide the initial liquidity, have the community vote on it, and then have it openly traded. It'll be amazing if we can deliver that. But yeah, explaining what we're doing and also giving people something to use and something to test and try out. And that's the point of the incentives that we're launching over the recent months. We hope to have a new one soon. And yeah, I would say also, if I had to say something, I think it would be creating a close-knit community of people and empowering them to help create and do things around Vega. I don't think we do that well enough or enough in general. And that's partially capacity and partially creating the infrastructure to do that. And I think it's been a lot of us maturing as a project and getting to a stage where we can support people that want to work with Vega, build on top of Vega, and I don't know, do work in the community and be recognized for it. So we've been learning about how to get better at doing that, I think. And I hope this is the year that we really demonstrate that Vega can become this transition from this, like we're building this thing, to being a bit more community owned and community led in the way we do things going forward. But yeah, this has been good. Let's move away from crypto. Let's move away from blockchain. Let's move away from all of these things. And tell me, tell me firstly an interesting non-crypto related fact about yourself, and then we're going to move back to crypto for the next question. So it can be like you like running marathons. It can be that you have one of your fingers is longer than the other finger, or that your dolphins are your favorite animal. Tell me something that you would like to share with the world, and it will be forever on this recording, about yourself.
You want to go, Janja?
Okay, I can start. So first of all, I have a cat. You can't see it here.
Can't see it.
He's called Martin. He's 7 years old, and he, as a cat, he is lovely, but he is a loser. He likes to fight with neighbor cat, and he always lost a fight, and I have to take him to the vet quite often. But I love him. So that's one factor.
You need to teach him how to get stronger. You need to teach him how to fight.
I know. Yeah, and so another factor is about me is I am quite sporty. I go to gym. I think same as Dagan. I do all sorts of classes. I do body pump and body attack, and I try to do something every day. But body pump. Yeah, I think next step is to train my cat how to fight. Maybe bring my cat to the body attack class or something.
Nice.
I think to latch on to that, speaking about sports and fighting, I used to do mixed martial arts. In 2019, I won the Italian MMA championship. I think that's the biggest fun fact for me. So I can teach your cat to fight if you want.
Yes, please. Save me a lot of vet bill.
I'm kind of retired now. That's what I like to say it, because I just do a bit of weights and some martial arts here and there. But yeah, definitely on the point of mental health. I like the fact, Janja, that you go every single day, because I think it really helps to kind of clear out the mind from all the stress. And I feel that sometimes when I'm not in a good mood, I go to the gym and everything kind of decompresses. And when I don't go, I feel bad because I haven't kind of released that stress. So I really recommend everyone, because we're all sporty here. I really recommend that a Vega community do. Maybe one day we can do a sport challenge, or just like an accountability on sport, and get everyone to stay fit with us or share their sporty journeys, because it's super important.
Yeah, especially now everyone's working from home, so yeah, it makes sense to go out a bit every day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very.
What about you, Dagan?
Dagan does weights. I know that.
I've worked out with Edo as well, and I haven't done any running with Janja, but I've seen her do a lot of running, and I'm impressed. Cardio is not my favorite thing, but maybe we do a big open Vega marathon one day, and we invite all the community, everyone who wants to come, and then we will just enter something. I think that could be, in between all the conferences, all the building, all the everything else, that'll be quite fun to do someday. But yeah, if I had to give a fact, I dance a lot. I think I've used this before, but I'm gonna be performing, I think, next month. Not next month after. I do a lot of hip hop dance, and I think it's really fun. It's a good way of doing a lot of cardio without doing running and without it being tiring. And it is really tiring, but because you're so into it, you lose yourself and you have a lot of fun doing it.
Can we have a few minutes of Dagan dancing video? In the next jam, please.
There'll be some dances in the next Fairground jam. You got to come next week.
Yes, please.
Put it in the chat next week. Where's the dancing? But yeah, that's my fun fact. Okay, so I want to end it with aspirations or things you would like to do in the crypto space or the Vega space in the future. So you've told us about your community work. You've told us about what you get up to in Vega and the wider crypto industry. But what would you like to do more of over this year in 2022? So it's the beginning of the year. Maybe you want to learn how to code in Solidity. Maybe you want to learn a bit more about trading markets. Maybe you want to improve your knowledge of derivatives and market creation. Maybe you want to launch the market on Vega by the end of the year. How would you like to extend yourself within this space?
Cool. I'll take the lead. It's a super exciting question, Dagan. I think for sure learning more about financial derivatives. I've operated on spot markets before, but never put my hands on some exotic products. So definitely stealing your knowledge, Janja. I'm looking forward to those pieces. Learning.
Okay, just wait for the next blog about derivatives.
Yeah, that should be out soon. But I'm also looking forward to and maybe spoiler alert, but the investing leverage one that will be out soon. So I'm super excited to get that knowledge across and get it in my head, because it's super fascinating. And more, I'm super interested in talking to Danny and learning a bit more about the smart contracts and how everything works in the back end. Kind of low at high level, but maybe getting more knowledge on that aspect would be amazing.
Lovely. Janja.
For me, I'm always interested at trading, and especially there's a trading strategy called optimal trading algorithm. And I want to have a robot which is using the optimal trading algorithm and check out the performance between the robot and the other normal traders or other normal trading robots. So yeah, it's gonna be actually a mini project together with Edinburgh University for MSc project. And I have this kind of idea. I just want to apply to our testnet and see how it goes.
Yeah, that's really cool. Sounds like quite a big challenge from both of you. And you can also both look back at this in a year, or at least at the end of this year. Nice background, Edo. And see if you guys achieved your big goal. Okay, let's wrap up then. So is there anything that you would like to say to the community in your like final few sentences as we end it for today before you go? And Edo, you have to keep the background while you say it.
Yeah, one sentence from me is it's going to be Chinese New Year soon. The New Year's Eve is the coming Monday. So I wish everyone, Chinese and non-Chinese people, happy Year of Tiger. And I know we have been quite impacted by the COVID. I just wish everyone has a great New Year, Year of Tiger. Yeah.
Give us a roar, Janja. We're waiting for the roar. Yeah, to the Vega community, I say that it's going to be an amazing year. Hold tight. We've got so much in store for you guys. Really reach out. I'd like as much as possible back and forth and creating these feedback loops. And there's so much that's going to go on. And yeah, I'm super excited. So yeah, let's really solve this big problem that we have. Support one another. Remember that we're doing something which is really, really good. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, let's make Vega happen together.
I'm super honored to work with you guys. And yeah.
Sweet, lovely. I'm gonna say there'll be a nice announcement soon, but you probably guessed from our backgrounds. But December coming soon. You're gonna hear a lot from Edo. You're gonna see a lot from all the community team, and yeah, keep your eyes peeled for the different things we'll be running around us that conference. I won't say any more as I might get slapped, but I will end it there. And yeah, just keep an eye on Vega Twitter because Edo will be very busy, and we'll all be busy pushing out content around the Vega ecosystem over the next few months, which should be really interesting for everyone in the community. So thank you guys, and until next time. This will be uploaded live on YouTube, hopefully tomorrow. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your year. Happy New Year.
Ciao. It was
Happy
great.
New Year. Bye.
Bye-bye.